9 days until early voters can head to the polls to cast their vote for New York City mayor.
So 8 Democratic candidates slugged it out in the second of 3 debates last night. The first one in person, of course, and a frequent target was Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. At one point, he was accused of never trying to end stop and frisk. Adams fought back, saying that was like claiming Anthony Fauci never tried to stop the coronavirus.
I fought against stop and frisk for 22 years when I wore the uniform. That's how New Yorkers know me. When you say Eric did not play a role to stop the abuse of stop and frisk, then you are trying to rewrite history, and I feel like Anthony Fauci right now.
Well, mayoral candidate Eric Adams, Brooklyn Borough President, joining us this morning. Eric, good to see you. Do you have some bruises on you?
No, not at all. You know, I am just really enjoying the moment of getting my message out to New Yorkers. And, you know, I did not walk away from the debate feeling that in any way that I did not communicate directly to New Yorkers. And just a side note, congratulations to you, Laurie. You're doing a wonderful job. It was a great exchange of information, and we should really lean into the stop, question, and frisk questions.
Because you did support it at one point. You can't deny that.
No, but here's what I supported, Laurie. The city abused the tactics. They skipped the question part. They went to stop, and they was frisking every innocent person, and I fought against that. I testified in federal court. I got legislation passed. Here's what I support. If Laurie was to call the police 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a man standing in front of my house, and he put a gun in his waistband. If the police can't go stop him and question him, we are in trouble. And that's what the other candidates are saying. That is going to jeopardize the safety of the city. And I'm not going to do that. The lack of knowledge of how to properly police the city was displayed on that stage yesterday.
You know, you have been inside. You were a police officer. You worked your way up, in the department there. And it's still interesting as we have crime surging, violence worse than it's ever been. We're no longer the safest city in the country. People are still talking about defunding the police. A lot of people on that stage last night talking about defunding the police. What would you like to say to them that you didn't have a chance to say last night?
I say this over and over again. Public safety is the prerequisite to prosperity, and justice is needed when we do so. And we can have a police department that we can rebuild trust, make our city safe. Listen, our economic recovery is tied to public safety. We have a multi-billion-dollar tourism industry in this city. No one is coming back to this city for 3-year-old was shot in Times Square, or if we are pushing people on subway tracks. Who's going to open their business? You talk to my large corporations in this city, and they say, Eric, our employees are afraid to get on the subway system. And our largest tourist dollar comes from China. We have anti-Asian violence in this city. You don't think that's going to impact tourism, impact business, impact our hotels? We need to get crime under control in the city. And I am clear on that, and I'm not going to back away from protecting the children and families of this city.
All right, last night, obviously, you were the punching bag because everybody knows you're the front runner. Andrew Yang went after you last night. He talked about that, in his words, we all know that you've been investigated for corruption everywhere you've gone. You've achieved the rare trifecta of corruption investigations. What does he mean by that, and where do you stand on that?
Listen, I would love to know what he means by it also, because a misleading headline came from the New York Times showing at the end, Eric has never been charged with any wrongdoing on doing the right things with nonprofits, following all the rules. And, you know, I am the only candidate in the race, as I stated yesterday. Let's end the calls to donors. I had to make 35,000 calls, hundreds of fundraisers, playing strictly by the rules of how we're supposed to do this. I don't want to do that. I'd rather talk to voters every day. And so his indication is a sign of desperation. He started out 24 points up in the poll. He thought he was just going to come here, ride a roller coaster from Coney Island and say, I want to be mayor. No, that's not what New York is like. New Yorkers are tough, they're gritty, they're blue collar, and they look at me and they say, you know what? This is the guy we want to run our city during these difficult times.
Okay, so we know, yes, you and Andrew Yang back and forth, but Catherine Garcia certainly gaining momentum, having the endorsement of the Times and the Daily News, has been in the position of sanitation commissioner, emergency food czar, interim head of NYCHA, considers herself the go-to person in a time of crisis. What do you have over her?
Well, number one, let's look at each one of those endorsements. The Daily News clearly stated Eric is a close number two. They said my innovative thinkings and the various initiatives. The New York Post endorsed me. New York Times had nothing negative to say about me as well, unlike the other candidates. And so clearly, we don't need someone right now that knows how to manage a crisis only. We need someone right now to turn the corner on the dysfunctionality of this city. You know, NYCHA is still a problem.
But do you think she has too many ties to the mayor?
No, I don't look at that. She has too many ties and not enough ties. All of us have to break out on our own and come with our own vision on what we want to do to this city. The foundation of what I want to do in this city is end inequalities, stop the dysfunctionality of government, where we create our own crises and keep this city safe so we can grow from that safety.
All right, can we talk quickly about the UFT? You know, they have a lot of members. They're putting out information to all their members that only vote for Scott Stringer. Do not even put a second choice, a third choice. They don't want to see you move up that ladder, Eric Adams. They don't want to see you. Is it because of your position on charter schools, and are you afraid of the UFT?
Listen, I'm afraid of NYC, the people of this city. Those are my voters. And when I look at what I did to the schools in Brooklyn, $160 million in the schools, everything from vertical farm, tech labs, to building out gym spaces. My teachers in Brooklyn would tell you, we don't care what anyone states. This man has been a hero for young people in schools.
Are you afraid of the UFT?
I thought I answered that. I'm afraid of the people of the city. I'm not afraid of any particular entity or group. My fear goes to my voters, the people that I'm going to bring to the polling booth and state we're going to vote and rank Eric #1. That is where my fear is. My fear is to protect this city and protect the people in this city. And I'm fearful with the wrong mayor, we're going to go backwards. And I am not going to allow that to happen to this city.
You know, there's still really no person who has opened up the whole range of the candidates. When they go in, when voters go in on the 22nd to go ahead and cast their votes in the ranked choice voting, you think you'll get the 50%?
Hopefully, I would like to, but if I don't, I want people to rank me too. But I believe I'm going to have the overwhelming number of ones. My message is resonating with New Yorkers. I see them every day. I see them on the subways. I see them as they go about their daily lives. And they know when this city hit a terrible place during COVID, these other people fled. I led. I was on the ground talking to my first line responders, doing the things I do every day, leading from the front. And I believe, I say it over and over again, I'm a blue collar mayor, and I'm going to speak on behalf of the blue collar people that are running this city.
All right. And you're packing heat, too, so...
so we're not going to mess with you.
We're walking with you.
And he knows how to use the heat.
Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll talk to you in the days coming forward, because early voting starts very soon. When does early voting start?
No, it's on the 12th. It's right here. This is it. Let's get it right, New York. If we get it wrong, I'm afraid. When I listen to some of these other folks talking, all I can do is just touch my head. Good Lord. You know?
All right. New York City Democratic mayoral candidate Eric Adams. And coming up at 8:30, we're going to speak with another Democratic mayoral frontrunner, Catherine Garcia.